Today's daf is daf Tes Zayin. We're going to begin on daf Tes Vav Amud Aleph Amud Beis by the Mishnah. Chamisha Tamin Chamisha Mu'adin. There are 5 types of damages that when an animal performs, he is they're tamim. So, for example, if let's say an animal performs twice and even when its owner was warned each time, so it's considered a tam. After the third time, the animal is considered a mu'ad. In such cases, the owner of is chayiv to pay by a tam chatzi nezek. And v'chamishu mu'adin, and there are 5 damages caused acts of which an animal is considered to be a mu'ad. So, and even if he had not been forewarned beforehand, this animal is always in a state of mu'ad, and the owner of the mu'ad has to pay a nezek shalom. So again, when an animal is a tam, the owner, and it damages, the owner has to pay a chatzi nezek. And as we're going to learn, it's going to be megufoi, from the value of the mazik's animal. And there's 5 mu'adin, and these 5 status categories of animals which are mu'ad, the owner has to pay nezek shalom. Now, an animal is not considered a mu'ad in regards to ligach, which means goring. So let's say goring with his horns, that's not considered a mu'ad. And if an animal gore with his horns and damage, the owner only pays a chatzi nezek. If not for pushing, not for biting, not for crouching, and not for kicking. So in these cases, the animal is considered to be a tam, and the owner is only chayav to pay a chatzi nezek. Now, hashain, concerning acts of damage performed on an animal, let's say with his tooth, so that's mu'adas la'achos really low. The animal is considered a mu'ad with regard to eating that which is fitting for it to eat. Haregal, concerning acts of damage performed with the foot, so the animal is considered a mu'ad with regard to breaking items while walking. So even if it only does, let's say an animal eats food with his shein only once, or let's say he damages even once, so the owner has to pay in nezek shalom, because for this the animal is always a mu'ad. V'sheh a mu'ad. And then we have the ox, that's a mu'ad, which he gored 3 times, and each time the owner was warned. So 4th time was a mu'ad, and v'sher mazik v'shus hanizik. If the ox caused damage to the property of the injured party on the property of the injured party, and the adam and the person also adam with la'ilam, any damage done by a person, in all these cases, the one who caused the damage is considered to be a mu'ad, and he has to pay nezek shalom. Mishnah then says like this: Haza'ev, the wolf, Va'ari and the lion, V'hadayev and a bear, V'hanomer and a leopard, V'habardlus. We're going to see what that means. V'hanochesh and a snake, Harin Elido and Mu'adin. They are always a mu'ad, even if they are never previously damaged. Lezer says, V'mashein b'nei tarbos, when these animals are domesticated, in other words, they're trained, Ein Mu'adim, they're not considered forewarned. V'hanochesh Mu'adim, however, the snake is always considered forewarned. So from the fact that the Mishnah taught that when it comes to a shein, the animal is considered a mu'ad with regards to eating, which is fitting to eat. So the fact that a shein is considered a mu'ad to echel, you must say that where was the damage done? B'rshus hanizik. As one is exempt from liability for acts of damage classified as shein if they occur in a reshus harabim. So the fact that you say that the shein is mu'adas la'achol and they have to pay an nezek shalom must be that where did the animal with the shein, where did he damage? It must be in the reshus of the injured party. Because it would be reshus harabim, the owner is and he damages, let's say, food. He's potter. Now, yet in the first clause, it taught that an animal is not considered a mu'ad with regards to goring. But it does pay a chatzi nezek. So Umar says mani. Who is it that holds that when damage classified as negicha is done with the property of the, in other words, when it's done in the share nizik, is chayiv. Who is it that holds when damage classified as goring is done within the property of the injured party? The owner is liable for only half of the damages. So the money is the chachamim. Why? The Amidesi Meshuna Kerem B'chatzar Nizik. That the halacha of dafka goring performed by a tam, that even if it's done in the chatzar nizik, chatzar nizik, the Rishonim pays a chatzar nizik. Now, so therefore, when our Mishnah says that that's according to the Chacham who say that Keren b'chatzar nizik only pays a chatzar nizik. Now, for the Seifa, let's look at the Seifa. Sher Amud, Sher Mazik, B'shus and Nizik. It says Sher Amud and Sher Mazik, B'shus and Nizik. Ve'a'adon, son of Reb Tarfon. I'm Rishun Keren b'chatzar nizik. Nezer Shalom L'Mshalom. He pays a full damage. So I'm asking today, Shabbat of the Seifa Reb Tarfon. You tell me the first case is the Chachamim, and the last case is the Mishnah. Reb Tarfon. The Gemara says in. He told him, which means the wise one shreik mastisa b'tah. But I said, leave the Mishnah and follow my interpretation of the first part of the last clause of the Mishnah. He says, Omar, he says, no, Kol Reb Tarfon. The entire Mishnah is Reb Tarfon. The first case of the Mishnah is with regards to a jointly courtyard. Under the terms of the partnership is designated for the use of one of them, the injured party. So again, but both of them could bring the shvarim. In regards to eating caused by one's partner's ox and injured party's produce, is that in the chutzner it's equivalent to that of a chutzner, which is exclusively by the injured party, and the ox's owner is liable for all the damage. But in regards to Keren, it's Rishus. Oh no, he said to me like this: could you attribute the entire Mishnah according to their opinion of Tarfon? Says that the damage performed within a tooth, the animal is considered a muad, eating that which is fitting for it, and uyala in, which is much more fitting for it, then yes, one is fired for the full cost of the damage. But if it's not fitting, then no, it's not. So the Gemara kind of explains is the V'yid of Tarfon, and if the Mishnah is according to the opinion of Tarfon, the owner should be chayav to pay the full cost of the damage, even if the animal eats something not fitting for it. Doesn't have Tarfon say Mishnah Keren b'chatzar nizik nezer shalom, that the law of case of goring performed by a done in the court of the injured party is that the owner of the ox pays the full cost of the damage. If these one are wood, they become wood. Now, the Gemara says, the next part says, the damage category of eating and trampling, they're always in wood. And where is their forewarned status with regard to these acts apply? But chatzar nizik applies in the courtyard of the injured party. According to Rabbi's explanation, the statement in the courtyard of the injured party refers only to the case of eating and trampling, and not the acts classified as negicha, and therefore it is true even according to the opinion of the Chacham. Below, with regard to the case of an ox that causes damage to the property of the injured party and the property of the injured party. How so? Now, if you say that the Mishnah here discusses the case referring to goring, then Mishmachi Ktanik Tetzad. As we say Ketzad, my case, what is Ketzad? And Muadu, if they are Muad, then the 5 acts are considered for one. The next part of the Mishnah that proves another law of Shem Regel Muad and Bechelasan. So, Shem, this is Shem. Shem Maz, which is an Izik, Machlekes of Tarfon Amar. Yesh Muad Nachim Ketzben, Hazev, Arriba, they were relatives for a number of Nachash. There are 5 tamim, and if they were warned, then chamish modim. Shei v'regel modim mitchilasen, and shei v'regel is a mod mitchilas. V'zo sher mazim sh'sanizet is machlekes b'tarfon abonu. Yesh modim machin kitzben. That says eva riva deva. I know reminds us of nachash. Now, there are those who raise the issue of contradiction, and through doing so arrive at the same conclusion. So now we learned Chamisha Tamim and Chamisha Modin. And one was Suleko Azeva Riva Deva number of brothers Malachish. Washani, and they have the answers. When even a Chasudi Mexer Bachatan, let's say to read the Mishnah. Chamisha Tamim Hilim, Wada Chamishta Modin, the Shem and Egam Modin is Philosophers, which is Shanab Wood. Shanab Mazwish was in the Zimachix of Retar Fun, and the Rabbonovish, when Nachikisman, Veda Zeva Riva Deva number of brothers Malachish. Now, the Mishnah teaches related liberates. An animal is not considered a muad with regards to goring, not for goring with its horn, not for pushing with its body, not for biting, not for crouching upon items in order to damage. They only taught the pachin ktanim. They taught this only with regard to large vessels, or for the day it's normal. It's classified as a tulda of trampling, for which animal is considered a muad from the outset. Let us say that the following prices supports the opinion of Blazer. An animal is considered a muad from the outset to walk in its typical manner to break or crush a person, an animal, or vessels. The Raisa indicates that an animal's typical manner is to crush vessels, presumably by crouching down upon them. This would seem to contradict the Mishnah states that such behavior is atypical. It would appear that only resolution to this stira is if one accepts the distinction between Maybe Rabbi Lazar that the Mishnah considers large vessels and the Brisa considers small vessels. Which is no, perhaps the Brisa concerns a case when an animal pushed against the utensils from the side. It's not the normal. Basically, an animal is considered a muad from the outset to walk in its typical manner to break or crush a person or animal or vessels. Mishnah said, my bardless, I'm reviewed nafrizo. This is a nafrizo. My nafrizo, I'm reviewed, so apo, this is a apo. Basically, the Meir Afat Savoa. The Mishnah says, in addition to that I consider a muad, also a savoya. If a person understands that Savoy and Appa, how could he also claim that it's a bardless? The Kasha Kamet Sava Zocher, here the Bryce is referring to a male hyena, and Kamet Savoy and Akiva, or should a female hyena. Tanya is taught in the Bryce, Savoya Zocher Lachar Shavashon Nasa Tamleif. A male hyena, after 7 years, metamorphosizes into a talif, like a bat. A talif after Shavashon Nasa Arpod. A male hyena after 7 years. After a bat, it comes into like a different type of bat. And then Arpod after Shavashon Nasa Kimish becomes a Kimish. Kimish after Shavashon Nasa Chayfach. Chayfach after Shavashon Nasa Shade becomes like a demon. Shid Shalom after Shavashon Nasa Nachash. 7 years after his death, comes into a snake. And immediately carbon. This is where a person does not bow. Prophet made him just the 18th bracha of the Amid. Also, in addition to the list of animals, there's there's also the tzavaya, the hyena. Is also the snake. So the Mara adds just to the snake. With regards to a lion that kills in a Rosh Hashanah, the claw its prey and ate it. But the lion's owner is exempt from it. But if it tore its prey with its teeth in order to kill it, then only it ate it, the owner is chayiv. The Mara says, if it clawed its prey and ate it, even the since it's a typical manner to claw its prey, I think it's equivalent to like the case of an animal that eats fruits and vegetables belong to someone else. But the Torah of Lav I says, remember the Teif of Lav is just to say that tearing apart is not a typical way. So it says the lion tears apart its young. The description in the pasuk clearly indicates that it is the typical mad of a lion to tear apart its prey. So my answer is that each phrase of the pasuk is referring not to the situation where the lion catches prey for its own He's put the one who provides it for his young. B'shvil genesav. It's for his youngs. The lion tears a part of it, provide for his lioness. B'shvil genesav for his lioness. Mal terev chedes, or it strangles his lioness. B'shvil chedav. It's for the young ones. By the native trefa, and it is filled. It's a layer with prey. Shvil me'nesav, to provide food for the young cubs and his den. And his den when it was torn apart. Therefore, we cannot learn from this puzzle that it's a typical matter for lion to tear apart prayer to its own immediate use. Batanya, the Gemara asks about similar to the case of a wild animal, including a lion, entered the courtyard of an injured party and tarfa be'em l'achal basu sham nesek shalom. He tore it apart, the animal, in order to leave it later for consumption. Since this is a typical behavior for a lion, the lion is considered a mood with regards to it. Doesn't the Rise say and ate it? My answer is, in the case where the lion initially killed the animal to leave it for later consumption, that would be considered an ate it. Or I ask questions on how can we know that the animal's initial intentions were, and furthermore, the Shmuel Nami, if one accepts this claim, the ruling of the Shmuel is also called in question. Perhaps the case you rolled on is a case like this. I was teaching us that study. We understood in two halachos. With regards to a lion, a torn animal in order to leave it later for consumption, or a lion that clawed its prey and ate it, then Mishalem is the Nezek Shalom, has to pay Nezek Shalom. Rabbi says, he covers Shmuel, Bari Tarbus. Shmuel says this in regards to domestic animal. Accordingly, the act of is classified as being in the category of warning, for which one is chayiv, even in a public thoroughfare. If so, the cloud also should be chayiv. Shmuel the Real Mastis is not referring to Shmuel, is referring to the Brisa. And when somebody Tarbus, answer the Yai, those for what? The Yachim Mike Tani Gabitul the Shane. If so, what is the reason the Rise teaches amongst the little Shanes? Is Gabitul the Shane, but in the Mishnah, should have taught this amongst the subcategories of going to versus Takakasha. Taka question.